Hey guys, we just landed here in Seattle, Washington, our beautiful North Point, Washington facility. First of all, we just want to say thanks for joining us on this journey. Anything you want to say real quick, Big John?
Appreciate the support, and we got a lot of great episodes coming your way, so be sure to check them out, show us some love on all the different media platforms, YouTube, podcasts, all that good stuff.
Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes.
Absolutely.
Next few episodes are going to be showcasing our amazing North Point, Washington staff, as well as some of the alumni that have graduated from this facility, as well as North Point, Idaho, that live in the Washington State area.
Yeah, it's going to be a real good time,
guys. Welcome to No Way But North, where we talk about the miracles of recovery and the tools used to achieve them. My name is Cooper Lyons. My clean date is November 27th, 2010. And as always, I'm joined by my co-host, Big John Meldrum.
Big John Meldrum in the building.
How you feeling, sir?
Good. Got my mug with my magic juice.
I feel like you should tell them what it actually is so people don't assume things.
It's Red Bull. It's about that time of the day.
It's, we've been recording all day. We're getting a little
loopy,
extra excited to be here.
Yes. Yes, 100%. No, it's a solid day. I think
dude, I think every guest we've had today has just been phenomenal.
Here's nothing against the Idaho folks. Y'all got to step up your game for the podcast.
That sounds directly against the Idaho.
Listen, I love everyone we've interviewed, but we've had some.
Well, I think part of it is that we're in Washington and it's like a travel, you know what I mean? So everybody's bringing their A game, including me and you.
I mean, yes.
I think that plays a part.
I think that Washington's just rocking the podcast or the channel right now.
Either. Well, and part of that is this still a badass sitting next to us that just did his story, made us both cry on the inside at least.
He made you cry.
I choked up. I don't know what you're talking about.
I did watch you choke up. You wiped some tears. I saw it.
Well, and I'm sure everybody at home watching.
The camera wasn't on me.
Choked up a little bit. Because if I was at home watching that, I would have been just sobbing alone. I can't cry in front of people. But if I was alone, it's like those military homecoming videos.
Yeah. Those are the worst.
God. Especially with the dogs. When the dog starts to cry.
The worst one is the Sarah McLachlan.
With the Humane Society ones.
Yeah, and they're all the I have to turn it off.
Well, even kids' movies nowadays. You okay, Dad? Yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah. First time I saw my dad cry was at the end of Finding Nemo.
Oh, yeah.
I bawled. I took my son to go see Toy Story 4.
Oh, yeah. That was a rough
hold
one.
hands when they're about to die.
That's
Toy Story 3. Toy Story 4, bawled my eyes out.
Is that where Andy goes to college?
No, that's 2.
God, sorry. Okay. Sorry.
You don't have kids. You don't understand these things.
I know.
I'm sorry. Then
I just want to be included.
I still cry at Lion King.
Lion King never got me. I think I was too young. It doesn't hold that kind of nostalgia for me. It came out when I was born. 94.
Shut up, Cooper. God.
You always make everybody else feel old.
I know, but you're not supposed to make me feel old.
That makes me feel really old. My God.
Well, despite feeling old, he doesn't look old. Guys, Rocky is our guest again today. We're having a clinical episode with him. We appreciate you again. Now you're taking 2 hours out of your Sunday, so we really appreciate you taking the time to sit down with us.
It's an absolute pleasure. Absolute pleasure. Thank you.
Well, he's taking 2 hours out of his work day.
Yeah, you don't forget I'm being paid right now.
He's being paid for this right now. I mean, you would have been paid regardless.
No, it is an absolute pleasure to be here.
Well, thank you for taking. I know this is a bigger facility than North Point, Idaho. It takes a lot more eyes, so we appreciate your team and everybody working so you can come get this done.
That is very
As a program director, I understand the importance
of one extra tech.
Yes. So
yes. All right, guys, so we're just going to kind of jump right in. The quote today is, if you are facing the right direction, all you have to do is keep walking. Zen proverb. Tell us what that kind of means to you.
The idea of recovery and treatment, it is daunting, and it seems huge, and it seems like something that can never. How am I going to do that? When I was early on, how'd you get a week? Mm-hmm. How'd you get a month? How'd you get a year? It seemed impossible.
Mm-hmm.
And as I went through treatment myself, as I've gone through working through school and through working and stuff like that, sometimes we got to take this big complex idea and we got to make it simple.
Absolutely.
And most of the time, you just got to, if you're facing the right direction, that's enough.
Mm-hmm.
And just put one foot in front of the other. And that is literally, so much of this is really black and white.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a tendency to overcomplicate it. But
Agree.
go to treatment, go to the groups, follow the advice given in a facility like this, and very rarely does it not work out. And so I think when early on, especially in detox in the first few days, it is overwhelming and it is challenging. And I just say, hey, when people say I can't do 28 days, okay, well, let's get to dinner. Because we have really good food. So
You got to always tell somebody that's coming down with some good food.
Yeah, let's get to tomorrow. That's what. Let's take this and let's take this big world and let's make it a little smaller.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the driving force behind that.
So, and before we get to what you think, I'll read it twice. But one thing that just blows me away about you is it is really, 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 really easy for anybody in this industry to get very impatient or frustrated.
Yes, it is.
And I'm guilty of that, and I know you're guilty of that.
I'm married
with kids.
So it helps.
Wait, hold
Love
on,
you,
Rocky.
honey.
Whoa. I was married once upon a time. That made my patience worse.
So I just want to say you just have this very, very realistic and compassionate view that you seem to just maintain no matter what is going on, and it's incredibly impressive. I just wanted to pay you that compliment.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
If you are facing the right direction, all you have to do is keep walking.
You didn't have to read it twice.
Oh.
That's just kind of like what we talked about in that episode earlier with Rusty. I think as clinical staff and counselors, we'll lay the path down, right? We'll give you the tools, we'll give you the resources, we'll teach you what works, what doesn't work, pay attention to relationships and codependency and boundaries and communication and all these wonderful things. But if you don't walk it, like, it doesn't work. Like, if you don't actually do those actions and follow these recommendations, it doesn't mean shit anyway.
Yeah. No, you kind of stole that from me because I was going to talk about Rusty. Rusty's just a shining example of just good old simple following suggestions. Yeah.
Same thing my man over here did.
Totally. But the other thing that came to my mind was next right indicated thing, right? If I'm practicing to do what I really think is right, not necessarily for other people, but if I really kind of do what is coming to me, and I think that comes with the connection with a higher power, at least for me, is like kind of that inner monologue of doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Next right indicated thing, and then I do that, and then after that there's a next right indicated thing after that. And I just continue those steps, whether that's for me, whether that's for my car, getting my oil changed, whether that's for my house and doing something like that, but just doing the next right indicated thing in that moment.
Like shaving your beard.
I know, it needs a trim.
Yeah, you look gross.
Wow, you just gave me a compliment.
I know. I had to break you down again.
God, you're supposed to break down then build up, not go back and forth.
Keeps you guessing.
All right, guys. So today's topic is going to be kind of aimed at people that are currently working in the addiction treatment industry or are looking at getting involved. What we're going to be talking about is the importance of authentic human connection in treatment, right?
Yeah.
I think it can be a really fine line to walk because it's really easy to cross a boundary.
Yeah.
Super easy.
Yeah.
We're working with a population that's extremely codependent or just manipulative. Right.
Yeah.
Bottom line, that's how they've survived. That's how I survived for.
That was a lot louder. I'm so sorry.
Then I survived for a good amount of years, and even into recovery, right? I was extremely manipulative until I kind of recognized it and was able to work through it.
Yeah.
But being able, because without that genuine human connection, whether you're in recovery or not, right? It's just I'm not going to trust you as a patient, as somebody that's in early recovery.
Very much. Yeah.
And if you're just there, and if it's just a job for you,
Yeah.
I'm not going to buy in.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to do the work.
Yeah.
So I think it's incredibly important, but it is kind of focused on the people who are going into the treatment industry, or I guess even somebody, maybe a family member who has somebody that's coming through treatment and needs to understand that they really need that genuine compassion with the boundaries.
Yeah. Very
So,
much.
I think you're the perfect person for it. I think this, I don't know if this is through recovery or what, but you seem to have that ability to walk that line every step of the way.
Yeah.
So,
And that you hit the nail on the head. If you are not authentic and you are not genuine, regardless of your background, the patients will know right away.
Well, it's
From a mile away.
they'll eat you alive.
Yeah.
They will eat you alive. It's been so funny when you watch. I'll give an example. We have an intern right now at North Point, and I think a lot of times when you come in as like an intern, you're the fresh meat because you haven't really found those boundaries and the
it's
way
like
to
dropping
kind
a
of
drop of blood in a pool
yeah
full of sharks.
Oh my goodness, and like a bucket full of sharks, and like literally, patients like just eat you alive.
Yeah.
And it's so funny, and I think that
Hilarious.
it's
I'm just giving you a hard time.
it is hilarious. I say it's hilarious
Because you've experienced.
because I've experienced, and I think
Yeah.
anybody that's been in this field understands that. But if you come across as being genuine and being authentic, then they're less likely to do that to you.
Well, even having to tell them no, or like
Yeah.
having to lay down some rules and like if they know where it's coming from a real honest place, they're not going to really push back too much on it.
Or even if they just know that you're a real honest person.
Yeah.
Right? They might not like the no and they might throw a fit, but they'll respect it in the end.
The other night, it's like, hey guys, we got to turn the TVs off. It's time for bed, And they, oh, come on, Rock. I said, do you know how hard it is to tell adults that it's bedtime?
Yeah.
So don't make this more weird than it already is.
Yeah.
Okay,
I felt
Rock.
that way at prison. When I was working on the prison as a new guard, brand new officer, it was the hardest thing to go tell a grown man who's old enough to be your father,
Go to bed.
hey, you can't do that. Sorry.
I remember, this is like, there's like 2 or 3 things, like just moments when I was a tech at North Point that I just remember so clearly. And one of them was there was 2 kids. I stopped being a tech when I was 22.
You stopped being a tech when you were like 20.
Not cool.
I'm sorry. I love you.
No. So, but it was like 11 o'clock. It was bedtime. And I was like, all right, guys, come to bed. And they're like, how old are you? I'm like, I'm 21. They're like, I am 25. You do not get to tell me when to go to bed. They were joking, but I was just like,
how do you respond to that? But
sorry, that's the rules. I remember I had to be a hard ass about that because I was young, so people wouldn't listen to me if I wasn't a hard ass.
But I think if you're genuine in all your actions throughout the day and you're able to make people feel at ease, I think that goes a long way with how people respond to you. So you might get that initial ball bust, but like if you continue and you're throughout that, but if you're the first interaction you have, you're like, hey, yeah, this and then like you're flat the rest of the time, they're gonna be like, this guy's a fucking clown.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
Or if you start talking about recovery when you're not in recovery and they don't, or addiction, and you're just like, they're just like, what are you talking about?
I do
Like,
that
yeah,
all
I
the
used to
time.
do Oxy 80s, dude.
I used to do that all the time.
No, you didn't. What are you talking about?
You know, one of the best compliments that I ever got was when I first started at North Point. I was probably like 6 or 7 months in, and my mentor at the time told me, he goes, I've never met somebody that can literally captivate an entire room and build rapport with people within minutes and like have people just spill their guts. And I was like, yeah, to me, that's just a natural thing because that's how I've always been. Like, build like.
You're one of the most genuine people I know. For
Well,
sure.
being like, and this is my codependency, 100%.
Fair enough.
I want everybody to like me, and I want everybody to be engaged with me. And if you're not, like that used to bother me so bad. I'd have a room full of people, and like one person would be like, "You're a dick. I don't fucking like you," and I'd be like, but why? And then like I would try so hard to make this person like.
And then they hate you even more.
Yeah, and so, but like now it's just like, I put myself out there. You can take it or leave it. Like I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
But I found like with an inpatient treatment, like especially when you get some of these people that haven't had like a lot of people be genuine towards them.
Yeah.
Because they've been looked at as the scum of the earth because they're addicts.
Or they're interacting with a bunch of other people that are addicts that are just using them to get money
Yeah,
or
and like you're just like,
drugs or-
just like, hey, what's up? Like, how you doing, man? Like, what do you like to do? And then you start talking about things, and you share a little bit, and they're like, oh my gosh, like, Yeah.
Or they don't even know how to answer. They're just like, I don't know.
Yeah. Like, you
And
want to
you
talk
start
to me?
sharing with them.
Yeah.
Right.
It's so great.
Is that something you've experienced?
Or leaving the door open, like you can tell. Usually, same thing. I've really, I've in my restaurant experience, stuff like that. I really know human nature, how to read people, and how to kind of get an understanding of this guy doesn't want me to go up and chum with him right now, or this, so kind of reading body language and stuff like that, and then knowing how to approach.
Totally.
And then I make myself available. This guy doesn't want to talk to anybody. He doesn't want to, he doesn't want to be here, but he knows that if he needs anything, all he's got to do is come ask.
Yeah.
And
putting that out there.
Yeah.
And then following up on it.
Yep.
Right. So when he does ask for something, you make sure it happens.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a big thing. If I tell somebody I'm going to do something, if you want to build trust in this field, obviously within reason, you know what I mean? But can I get a towel? I'm going to stop what I'm doing and I'm going to go get you that towel. Yeah. And it does it, but you come across as trustworthy, and that this guy's here for me.
One of the best things that I was taught when I was a guard at the prison, I had my mentor there, this guy named Brandon Delaney. He was a unit manager, and he told me when I switched over from being a guard to a counselor, a case manager in the prison. He told me, he goes, if you tell one of these inmates that you're gonna do something, you better damn well do that, and you better follow through, and you better get it done timely. Because a lot of mentality is like, well, they're just fucking inmates. Like, where are they going? Where are they going? Like, I'll get to it. And he goes, because that's gonna make or break people's trust to give you information, or to confide in you, or if you have to,
or to ask you to do something.
Yeah. And so they're like, if you're in the middle of something, as soon as you get done, you go get that blanket. You go get that towel.
Yeah.
You go, you send that email. You do whatever. You get them that response as fast as possible, because it builds that trust.
Yeah.
Well, and then they also talk about you to other patients or inmates, right?
Because in this realm, you got a building full of people that don't trust, right? And we've seen it. All it takes is you to do something or screw something up with one patient, and then everybody knows, like, Rocky's a piece of shit, he doesn't do this, or Cooper's a piece of shit, he didn't do this, or John's a piece of shit, he didn't do this. And then everybody's like, well, and then it just turns into this wildfire. Like, well, we can't trust Rocky, and we can't trust Cooper, we can't trust John to get things done. So being that authentic, I think, is the most important thing.
Yeah.
And if you make a mistake, I forgot to get you that towel.
Owning it, yeah, 100%.
I am so sorry. And it seems meaningless, but it's much more than a towel. It's this would be hard, even if you weren't coming off of drugs and alcohol, to be plucked from your environment and put in a building for 28 days.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
And
share a room with another person.
Yeah. If I can be someone that you can rely on, I'm going to make that happen.
Yep.
So with having that authentic connection, right? What are some of the risks? What are some of the risks that you think fall into that?
Boundary crossing, right? Or if I got, what is it? If you give a mouse a cookie, it'll want a glass of milk.
We call it, this is like all like prison for me. Like, that's all, like, boundaries are so easy for me now, but this was something that I had to learn so hard, because it's so easy, because like, you don't want to let too much out, but you want to let enough out.
Yeah.
So when do you find that happy medium?
Because I got kids, right? And so a lot of it, not that these are children, but a lot of the, I'm going to do that, and then, because you say, oh, can you get me the remotes? You got me a towel, and it's not time to have the remotes yet, but it's in like 20 minutes. And if I say, yeah, no problem, then it's a really slippery slope. Yeah. So being able to say, no, you can't, right? Or say, like, hey, if I do that, I'm in more trouble than you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, well, we don't want to get you in trouble, Rocky. Yeah. And that what comes with the rapport building,
Yep.
But it's really, really, and if you do it, because you're going to do it. So if you're thinking about it, you're early on, you're going to make that mistake where you give a little too much.
Everybody does.
And then own it. Realize it. Go home and be like, I fucked up. I made a big mistake, or
and
not.
Talk to coworkers or supervisors about it.
Yeah. this is
when you do mess up, like be like, hey, you know what, Dan Labuda, guess what? I think I screwed up. Or Laura, listen, I think I might. What do you think?
Might have crossed the boundary.
I might have crossed the boundary. Like, what is it?
The quicker you do that, the less, because it could be nothing, you know. But the quicker you do that, the quicker. If something were to come from it, that's going to be the first thing they remember is that you owned up to it, you know. But because it can and will happen, and again, a lot. And I'm not talking about real serious detrimental stuff. I mean, like turning the phones on before they're, you know, but it can, and once you start doing it, then everyone will know. 28 other people know. Go to Rock, he'll turn the phones on. Right?
Yep, exact thing we were just talking about. Right, the bad stuff. Right, if you don't do something, they're gonna all know. And if you let them get away with stuff, they're
Call
all
it
gonna
downing the duck.
Yeah. And when you're genuine and authentic, they'll respect it.
Yep.
Yeah, they might throw a fit and they might be upset about it, but they know that you're not coming from a place of like authority or like I'm better than you or just being an asshole.
My favorite thing is like when I tell patients like, and they're like, oh, why do you have to be such a hard ass? Or like, why do you always just say no? Because patients come up to me and my automatic response, even if it might be yes as initial, I'm like, no. And they're like, but you didn't even hear it. I'm like, okay, let me hear it. They're like, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, no.
Yeah, no.
But what I appreciate is that when these guys start getting clean and healthy and they start having some of that more longevity within their recovery, and they come back and they're like, I'm so glad that you were just like a hard ass. I'm like, I'm not even being a hard ass. I'm just setting a boundary, just letting you do what you think you want to do.
I can't tell you how many people thought I like hated me when I was a tech. They're now alumni that love me.
Yeah.
Well, because you take them out to do stuff with them, Cooper,
I think they just like me for who I am, but
and your jawline.
my jawline.
I like you, Cooper.
Thank you, Rocky. So I know again we're kind of coming up against that. You get us talking, and we just want to keep you here forever. So I don't want to keep you here forever.
Yeah, talk away.
What are some of the kind of those last things that you want to leave somebody with that might be thinking about coming into this industry or might be in this industry, might be struggling with holding those boundaries or maintaining authenticism or not getting impatient and frustrated?
Couple things. And one, again, we were talking about Aladdin or kids' movies and stuff earlier. I remember, and I say it to myself, anytime I'm going into a situation where I got to run an evening wrap-up group or something that I'm nervous about, I think of Be Yourself, you know, when he's flying around as a bee to Aladdin. And it really, the most important thing of all the schooling and all the training and everything you go to, be yourself. When you are yourself, things will flow much, much better.
Be more confident in setting those boundaries. Confident in being authentic.
Yeah,
totally.
And then knowing how to decompress is another. If you're in early in the field or thinking about getting in the field, it is a heavy field. When I'm here, I give these patients and this company 110%, and when I'm home, I give my family 110%. And knowing how to leave work here and leave home there, which we as a tech, we get really lucky. We work 12-hour shifts. There's not a lot I can do before and after work.
Yeah.
And so when I'm here, this is it. Yep. You know, I'm not thinking about, you know, and it was at first 12-hour shifts seemed brutal, intense, and now I love them. Yeah. They're the best thing that has ever happened because for 3 days I give this place everything I got.
And then you got 4 days off.
Yeah. You know, but knowing how to decompress is a really, really, really big one.
That was my hardest thing.
Yeah. Well, and for me, it's having something that you can do, right? Whether that's the gym or even Netflix, just like shutting your brain off and leaving. Like you might have a patient here that's just struggling so hard and you're doing everything you can for them. But when you're not here, like you said, there's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
So you need to be able to just leave it here until you come back next week.
Yeah.
And not like spend emotional energy on it.
Mm-hmm. And that's what's nice about having an amazing team. Mm-hmm. If I leave and I know this person's struggling, I know they are in the best, most capable hands.
Exactly.
And I've had jobs where I didn't feel that way. And it weighs on you. You feel like you're the only person that can connect with this person. Yep. Not at North Point. You are in capable hands, no matter who is here. And so knowing where you work or where, and what you're going to be doing and who you're working for is a big, it helps with the decompression. It helps being able to leave here not having a weight on your shoulders.
I love it. John, anything you want to say?
Oh, you did a great job.
As always.
Did I interrupt? I'm sorry.
Not at all.
Okay.
No.
You were perfect. All right, guys, that's all we got. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. If you're thinking about getting into this industry, really, really pay attention. Rewind, watch it again. It's all the stuff we talked about is super, super important for longevity and being able to be good, continue to be good in this industry. So, like, subscribe, share with one person you think might get value. And as always, guys, this has been No Way But North, where we talk about the miracles of recovery and the tools used to achieve them.
Peace.
If you or a loved one are struggling with addiction, please call 208-999-4064. The views and opinions expressed in No Way But North do not reflect those of North Point Recovery or any other institution or organization.